everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Amorous. Let's just jump the fuck into it. Sorry I couldn't get very far last episode, but at least we had fun anyways. Oh wow. So long as you're happy, I'm happy. Wait. Okay. It might sound a little weird, but I mostly enjoy doing the things that the person I'm with enjoys doing. If you prefer to take charge a little, that'd be fine by me. Knowing your preferences for that kind of thing helps me know what to expect, so I appreciate you saying so. You know, considering Rose and how you act generally, I didn't really think you had much of a problem taking control and playing the more dominant role. Hey, I'm not saying I don't like to be bossed around a little. I just ain't really one for being much on the receiving end of certain stuff, if you get me. I flushed a little and smirked, putting down the stick of jerky. My stick of jerky I was still holding, which suddenly felt a little too lewd to be... How can I relate to this? To be gnawing on. I was glad that my more receptive attitude wouldn't put Zenith off, though. I was enjoying getting more time with him like this. Haha, well, putting it that way certainly helps me. Well, like I said, no problems here. I'm not saying I might not let you know what I want from time to time, but at least I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed by the rare request now that you say that. I like how domineering you can be. I didn't exactly expect much less from a guy who comes to a date in a muscle shirt. Talking so candidly like this was certainly nice, I guess, considering I'd already found myself pinned under him this afternoon. It wasn't exactly a premature question. Unlike other things, part of me wondered if it was rushing things a little for him to ask my sexual preferences, but I suppose we had met at a notoriously sexual club, and I couldn't blame him wanting to know after a failed hookup the first night. I guess you were pretty obvious about your intentions and preferences from the get-go. If I didn't think I could work with that, I would have said. Just wanted it out there, you know? Since we're clearing the air and all. He smiled as he carefully opened a soda that nevertheless threatened to fizz up like a foamy bathtub. He threw me an eyebrow that said, see, this is what happens when you— I didn't even get to read that. Fuck. I know. Yeesh, I didn't know dummy boyfriends would be so much like having an extra mom around. He chuckled at that. Well, listen, I'm doing my best here. You're the first girlfriend I've had in a pretty long time. Kinda got used to a lot of high maintenance guys. Kinda forget what relationships with someone who's more refined is like. Refined? Okay, you've had some shitty boyfriends if you think I'm that refined. Ooh! Look, I'm pretty new to the whole serious dating thing. I mean, fuck, a picnic? Okay. Can you just let me read? Can you let me read? Hey, you did great. I don't think we're gonna get through even half of this food, but it's kinda sweet that you tried so hard. You're doing fine. And dating, huh? I guess we've both said it about, let me check how many times you've made my heart skip a little today. 3 times? Yeah, I mean, that's what this is, right? I like you, you like me. We're even sitting under a damn tree, like in the kids' song. I thought it was supposed to be sitting in a tree, not sitting under a tree. Haha, sounds like a date to me. I tried very hard to think of something excellently witty to say in response to that. I liked him, he liked me, KSSING. I realized I'd just been staring vaguely at him with a cocktail sausage halted halfway down my throat to watch the show. I choked a little, the flushed from neck. What? I choked a little, the flushed from neck to scalp. What? What? You okay there, Jaybird? No. Yeah, I just didn't expect you to say that. What? That I like you? I'll admit, you're growing on me. Remember when I said you're the first person in a long time that I've been— okay, fine. No, I don't remember that because I wasn't able to fucking finish what you were fucking saying. I wasn't lying about that. He took a swig of his drink smugly as I searched for a response. I guess out here with just the breeze and our little feast for company, he felt a little more comfortably being open. I suppose that was fair enough. The gun range wasn't exactly the place for a heart-to-heart. Oh, what are you talking about? You shoot someone's heart, you shoot your own heart, you know, it's a heart-to-heart. What? I didn't take you for the sappy type, Zenith. Sappy? I ain't fucking sappy. I'm just in touch with my feelings, alright? Big deal. I laughed and remembered Jason's words, how Zenith was really just a big sap under all those muscles. Oh yeah, he's all gooey and sappy under those rock hard— Okay, I'm gonna make myself actually throw up describing that. He put on a big show, but I could tell that he let things sink deep too. We nibbled through a few pre-packaged sandwiches and sat in quiet company for a while until I figured it was time enough to learn more about Zenith. So, Zenith, if this isn't going to be a shitty question, you said you've not had much chance to just talk with someone? You seemed pretty popular back at the club, and if Kobe is much to go on. See, that shit's different. That was mostly Rose's idea. Rose's idea? You mean the whole flirting thing? Yeah, that was a big mess. Hell, it took you sticking up for yourself for me to actually put my foot down on all that. He hasn't replied to my text since he stormed off. Like I said, wouldn't be the first guy to act like that. I just have a shitty habit of getting into those kinds of positions. Zenith's dour expression made it obvious that the topic was difficult for him. At the same time, it was time enough that I asked some of this stuff. He'd invited me here to have it all out in the open. Things with Rose and being a cop were both triggers that seemed to put him in such a shitty mood, and I'd rather look under that band-aid once than keep accidentally poking it. Ask about the accident. Was that the accident Jason mentioned, one of those bad positions you had ended up in? I can see that it hurts you, Zenith, but I'd like to help or at least know what not to say. It's a long story, Jaybird. I haven't really talked to anyone about this in years. I trust you with it, though. Zenith reached for a sandwich half, exhaled deeply, and leaned back on one arm as he took the big, filling rich piece out of the middle in a huge bite. He cogitated for a moment, seeming to decide where exactly to start and what order to tell his story. Okay, back before I worked at Amorous a couple of years before, I just finished training to be a cop. I was real green, you know? Felt like I could take on the world. So you liked it? You kidding me? I loved it. I felt like I was really making a difference. My partner, you know, the guy they team you up with when you're working the beat, he really helped me get through a lot of rough times. I guess that makes sense. I know that much from cop movies. Okay, was he big and burly like you, or are we talking about a young, skinnier Zenith here? I smiled, imagining Zenith in one of those buddy cop movies from the 80s. Who was I kidding? Zenith looked like he could bench the younger kids from high school onward. He was definitely the bigger cop. Nah, he was smaller than me, but I respected him. He was a lifer, committed to it, you know? I looked up to him for that. He taught me everything I know. You see, Dad walked out when I was just a whelp. Didn't really have much of a father figure in my life. I guess he sort of fit that role. He told me when I was doing stuff wrong, told me when I did good too, which was a first. I'm guessing you two got along really well then? More than well. Rich and I, well, we were the best of friends. It's not like it's the Stone Age or whatever, but he was the first guy in the force I told about being into guys, among other things. Oh yeah, I'm a girl. I'm a girl, but I'm technically a guy in this game, but you know. I could see the blood leave Zenith's cheeks as he swallowed another bit of a sandwich. He looked like he'd just eaten ash. We're gonna sit and listen. I sat there quietly listening to what my new friend had to say. I got the feeling it was best to let him speak on his own terms and at his own pace. I nodded along, doing my best not to make it seem any bigger an issue than it clearly was. We got a call about a robbery. Dispatch said the guy was holding up a convenience store with a knife. A fucking knife! Have you guys seen that image of that guy robbing a bank with a fucking butcher knife, and the fucking lady's just like, look at this fucking idiot. She's just threatening me with a fucking butcher knife? Bitch, what do you think you are? We were the closest patrol, so we responded. We got advised to wait for backup, but I had a fire in me when I was younger. Rich said we should wait, but I didn't listen to him. We could handle it on our own, at least that's what I thought as a hot-headed rookie. I barged into the store, gun in hand. Rich had no choice but to follow behind me. It was just a scrawny kid, holding up the clerk with a kitchen knife. I did all the stuff you're supposed to do, try to shout him down. Freeze! Drop your weapon! We will fire! All that shit. I figured he'd crap his pants seeing two cops with their guns drawn like that. He pulled out a gun he had in his coat. Oh, no. He pulled out a gun he had in his coat pocket and shot at me. Jeez. I thought that was it for me, but everything happened so fast. Rich had pushed me out of the way. Maybe he'd clocked the gun in his pocket whilst I was watching him put the knife down. He took the bullet for me. The store clerk, okay, fine, I get to read that. But it was too late. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I imagined what happened wasn't exactly rare. Exactly rare. But the having to go through that with his partner and mentor, I had no idea. I swallowed hard. I could see Zenith fighting back the anger. I was an idiot, and I got him killed. If I wasn't such a headstrong fucking kid. I'm supposed to hug him? I didn't say a word. I moved in closer so I could wrap my arms around his midsection and lean in close. He sighed deeply, tossed the crust of a sandwich off from across the field, and wrapped an arm around me, squeezing some of his frustration out. Oh my god, don't kill me. Thanks, Jaybird. I beat myself up about it for so many years. You'd think I'd get bored of beating myself up over it. Just stubborn, I guess. I'm guessing that's why you quit the force? Oh god. Yeah, that'd be why. I was a mess. That's why Jason bringing me flowers as a thank you after so long spooked me. Too many memories. Why flowers? From his funeral? White lilies. Every week I'd go to the same place on 3rd Avenue, little flower shop, buy the same bouquet of lilies to take to his grave. But after a while, I just wanted to forget, you know? Well, no, I didn't want to forget. I wanted to get unstuck and let things start moving again. So that's how you ended up at Amorous as a bouncer, right? Mm-hmm. You got it. And that's also when I met Rose. He was much nicer when we first met. Being in the state I was, wanting to forget about my past, I kind of lost myself in that guy. Yeah, he didn't seem so nice when we met. He was getting bored of me, I think. We never were a couple or anything, but he'd get me to wrangle the cute guys for him and vice versa when I was coming out of my shell more. That's not how you spell shell. My chell more. I'd be lying if I said there weren't more than a few threesomes. His charms, my looks, It was hard to say no to a couple of guys like us, but I realized it was getting to be more of an escape. I was becoming too dependent on him to actually strike up a conversation and have fun. It did almost seem like he was holding your leash back at the club, no offense. None taken. We still had our little, they're cute, what do you think, game going on. I thought it was getting better and I was getting to talk to people more than just being Rose's bonus sale, but he'd just reason out that I didn't want to be with the guy or girl and take them off by himself after I helped introduce him. That was a stupid game. If I got someone interested, they were interested in both of us. Then he got to decide if I could play. Made sense at the time, don't ask me how. I guess the reasoning was that if I was looking for something more substantial, then the person was looking for fun. But the person was looking for fun enough to mess around with me and him, then they weren't my type. It was just stupid. I wasn't getting... I'm not following any of this right now, honestly. I'm not following any of this. It's like you're saying stuff, but at the same time you're saying nothing at all. It was just stupid. I wasn't getting to meet new people, and he'd get me riled up only to remind me I wasn't looking for something casual with him and shut me down. And I'd still be doing that over and over if you hadn't told him to back off. It means a lot to me. You being here, listening to me like this, means more too. A hell of a lot, actually. Okay. I wouldn't be anywhere else right now, Zenith. Thank you for telling me all that. It must have been hard, but I'm glad things are a little clearer between us. I was a little worried Rose was your boyfriend, not for one. You're a sweetheart after all, huh, Zenith? Yeah, well, you're pretty adorable yourself. You can't flatter me and not expect to get some back. There it was. That big smile finally returned, like a sunrise lighting up his features. I hated seeing him so upset, but in a way it was good he got all of that off his chest. Zenith took a deep breath and sighed. He chuckled, locking his eyes again. I blinked first, heat rising to my face. Neither of us spoke for a word, but neither of us spoke a word. I could feel my heart beating wildly. I took in every detail of his face. Could he see me blushing? He was blushing too. A smile played on my lips. I'm supposed to kiss him. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. Wait, I could. Knowing Zenith wasn't with Rose, knowing he wanted something more with someone, I just had to have him. Before he could react, I leaned in, shuffling on my knees over the picnic blanket until I leaned in to kiss him. He seemed a little surprised by it, but certainly went along with it as he tilted into my lips. Sorry. Nothing else really mattered in that moment. I could feel his arms wrap around me and pull me up against his chest. His large, sun-baked, scaly frame pressed up against me, making me feel small and soft as he wrapped himself around me. His solid, muscular form only made the feeling of pressing into me more intimate. I hiked one leg up over his hip to better leverage myself as we kissed. His tongue opened to me, dancing with mine, rolling against each other to the music of our surprised lusty groans. Our hands roamed and explored the other's body, my palms running down the intricate web of his back muscles under his wings. A large clawed hand came to rest on my rump, feeling the curve of me before he got a handful of it ran up my spine. It's starting to hurt my throat. I broke the kiss, which surprised me somewhat as I made no conscious plan to do so. A stray strand of saliva winked in the Oh, come on. Oh, God. Sun between us before breaking loose on Jenna's chin. That's not the right loose! Breaking loose on Jenna's chin. He gave me a curious, painfully lonely look, puppy-like for a moment as he wiped his chin. As he wiped his chin, I looked around. Nobody seemed to be looking this way, not that it was a particularly packed spot. I've got a few skills. Oh, come on. I got a few skills of my own, Zenith. I'm not gonna let you have all the fun. I smirked devilishly as Zenith tilted his head in confusion, trying to work me out. As he was about to say something, I pressed hard into him, using my weight to knock him off balance as I lifted his hands to throw myself forward. Success! His wings spread to catch himself. I leaned over him further in. With a groan, he toppled back in seeming slow motion like a tree coming down. Little devil. Zenith, we should continue this another time. I don't want to draw an audience. Zenith had turned redder in the cheeks. I made to move, and he kept me there atop him with his hand on my thigh. I'd call this a pretty successful picnic, wouldn't you? Considering we're laying all over some of the snacks, maybe not the best picnic, but one hell of a date. I don't want to rush through our first playtime before work, but just sit there a little longer. Let me at least savor that before we have to go off. I smiled, feeling his words strike at the heart of my own thoughts on the matter. If we weren't able to do anything more today, I'd at least want to go home with that thought of him in my mind. I don't need to nod my assent. I simply lay forward, letting our crotches meet as we shared a tender kiss, and left that heat between us kindling for as long as he dared. When our lust had settled a little, I slipped to his side as Zenith lay out in the middle of our picnic, not hogging the blankets, but taking enough space that his inviting smile showed that we'd need to cuddle up a little. I shifted a couple of the half-emptied bags and took my spot at his side, feeling a little meek as I rested my head on Zenith's chest. I tried to think when the last time I was laid with someone like this, being the one using someone else's chest as a pillow. Despite Zenith being the one bearing it all and sharing his story, I couldn't help but take some comfort from laying with him too, my hand idly running over the soft fabric of his top as I listened to the deep, slow breathing, and the quiet thud of his heart. After the heat of the moment had passed, Zenith touched my shoulder with his hand, drawing my eyes open again. And I dozed off a little on him. That the little world that was us smelled of our sun-baked skin and grassy field. I shifted a little so we were laying side by side, propped on one arm, close enough that we could talk at a whisper if we wanted. The snacks Zenith had brought, undoubtedly cooking a little in the heat, were mostly forgotten. We picked at the food, partially just because it was there. Zenith had a cold sweet tea, though it and the sodas were slowly heating under the pleasant sun. We shared the afternoon here together, trading stories back and forth along with the food. Zenith had a couple of suggestions for local shops that might end my unemployment woes. The darker of the topics I dared broach after Zenith's cop story. But mostly we just rambled together, sharing stories of past adventures. It was good to just speak casually, even if it was just about long past high school nonsense. The stoic dragon was better company than he gave himself credit for. With a sad sigh and a tired groan that I knew had to come eventually, Zenith pulled himself sitting and stretched his arms and wings in a fantastic, unconscious show of musculature. I drew out my phone and pressed the screen button on the side to light the time. So late already? We'd have to be heading back soon if we didn't want Zenith to miss his shift. Thanks for all this, Jaybird. I mean it. I appreciate you putting up with me. Hey, so long as we don't turn every date into an MMA match, I think the feeling is mutual. We shared a laugh as I got to my feet, having to shift the hem of my pants back into place and fiddle with the button with an embarrassed grin. A lot of the heat of our less than restrained makeout session had petered out, but if he dared to look too hungrily at me as I fumbled my clothes back in line, I was apt to have the same problem all over again. Hey, no promise there. Zenith opened his arms for a hug and I took it eagerly, feeling him linger on one last squeeze before we packed things up to take it to his car. I thought I was the tease here. We should probably get heading home, huh? Yeah? What? Hope you don't mind me dropping you at the driveway. It's getting late. No, that's fine. Thanks for the ride again, Zenith. It's been cool getting to see more of what you're like when you're not bouncing. So I was thinking, do you want to do this kind of thing again? I'll be blunt. I'm really enjoying this. I just hope you're feeling the same way. I'd like that. I feel exactly the same way, Zenith. I'd love to see you again. And again. And again. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And the day after that. And the next day. And the next day. Well, goddamn. Remember what I told you about being cute? You're killing me. Come on, we better make tracks if I'm gonna get you back in time. There wasn't much more to say on the way back, and we sat in silence as the radio played. Zenith was grinning, not his nothing's wrong smile either, but an earnest one. It must have taken him some guts to admit that he liked me. I was grinning too. It was hard to even force myself to stop. I had to admit, the smile wasn't exactly just an emotional relief. My heart was too busy racing to keep my thoughts that pure. The thought of him rushing home and handling his stress before work made me shift to my... Okay. Maybe we could... No. Perhaps he'd use his phone to... No. I shouldn't push my luck. I was getting redder in the face. We pulled up outside of my house before I'd had the chance to formulate some sort of plan of action, and Zenith chuckled as he turned to me. Thanks for everything today, Jaybird. I meant everything I said. I've had a blessed day, and that was all you. Come in, Zenith? I'm supposed to say come in, Zenith. Come in, Zenith. He laughed earnestly, and the awkward tension between us melted away. Flicking the idling engine off, he faced me with a fierce longing on his face as he turned me to him, and we started to kiss again. Oh, what? Oh, wait, oh. Lips rolling against each other, his hands held me twisted in my seat by the hip, practically pulling me over the center console as our tongues danced and our passion escaped in needy primal grunts. My hands stroked up the firm mass of his chest, feeling his pulse strong in his neck as I pulled myself close, and tracing his sturdy jaw and back to hang onto his neck as I sucked his tongue and lapped over his teeth. Gross! It's one thing to do with the tongue, it's another thing to do with the fucking teeth. I don't want to be looking at someone's teeth. He practically pulled me into his lap, my knees on my seat, as the passionate kiss refused to burn out for a long 5 minutes. I staggered from Zen's truck sometime later, my clothes feeling tight and hot in my body. He'd barely done more than kiss away the last few minutes before he had to— Okay, fine, whatever! I definitely need a shower. A cold one. Phew, the shower didn't exactly help. Sorry to keep you. Hope you got to work okay. I had a great time, Zenith. I'll call again soon. Got here okay, yeah. And hell, yes. Call me soon, Jaybird. Hell yeah. Now who's the cute one? Oh my god. Oh, well guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. So with that being said, if you guys somehow enjoy this and would like to see more of this game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye!